We are live, coming to another great edition of the Chef and the Fox. Joining me right now is the basketball extraordinaire who went complete bagel last week, Sean Shorkey. Uh, Coming in, we're going to talk some hoops with Sean. There is no hockey today, I found out, so Locke will not be joining us because there's no hockey. So he's was going to try to join us to talk some other stuff, but he said there Mike should be on around 11 o'clock today. We've got lots of things going on, lots of actions. We got soccer action going on live. A lot of the major leagues kicking off again today. We've got some great college basketball. We got some NBA action that's coming on. We got, if you're really a degenerate, we've got the Pro Bowl tomorrow. We could just talk about. Which I actually already have a bet in for the Pro Bowl. So,
the NFC.
But I'm going NFC because the two AFC quarterbacks are running quarterbacks, and I can't believe that they're actually going to call actually quarterback runs. So if it's based on basically passing technique, I'm going with the NFC. So I've taken the NFC plus 1.5 on that game. I'm a little late today, so I'm going to be working on the banner. So Sean, I know we got some early looks that are happening. So take it away.
Yeah. So I was kind of looking at the basketball games today. Big thing I'm excited about is the Big 12 versus SEC showdown that's going on this weekend. So yeah, for those of you that are wondering why it's not conference play, it's this one weekend is these two conferences decide to match up and play each other. There were a couple games that I was looking at. They're pretty hard because it's like the SEC especially. They're like the only conference without an elite ranked team, like in the top 10. You know, they have like a lot of pretty good teams, and they don't have anybody. I mean, you could kind of say Kentucky is going to get there eventually, probably towards the end of the season, but they really haven't been that great of a team that you would consider like an elite team, a team that you're confident in. They kind of just been middle of the road. So them, and then there's Auburn. I've always said Auburn is fraudulent. They are 16-2. They lost to Alabama and Florida, but they don't really have any good wins. Like their most significant win is probably Mississippi State, and that team probably is not going to make the tournament. So there are no teams in the SEC that are really, I think, that are really, really dominant. But on the other hand, in the Big 12, you got Baylor, you got Kansas. So you do have elite teams there. But I think there are some spots here where the SEC can pick up some wins. One of them being, and kind of jump into a later game, a primetime game, is Baylor at Florida. Now, if you look at this line, it's only I think it's only 2 points. Maybe it's gone. No, it's 2 points. So you got to ask yourself, why is Baylor an elite team, number one team, I think, in the country right now is what they're ranked. Why are they only 2 points? And what is it? They're a 2-point dog going into Florida. When you look at it originally, Florida's hard to trust. If you watch them in the beginning of this season, they just haven't been shooting well. But the past couple of games, if you watch them, Florida's actually been coming together. Their team's been, they look like they know what they're doing. They're working together. They've been shooting better. But there is still that, like, I at least have a bad taste in my mouth about Florida because I bet on them so much in the beginning of this season and they let me down just, with their poor play, poor shooting. Their team just was not putting up points. But I think this is a big spot for Florida. We've seen all this season where a team gets ranked number one, then they go on the road and they end up losing. I think we've had like the number one seed change so many times. So I think this is a big spot for Florida. Baylor is really good on D. We're not going to deny that. But I think it's a primetime game. It's in Florida. Baylor hasn't lost a game since I don't even know, but it feels like it's been forever. And Florida has this size advantage with Blackshear and Payne. So I think like this is a perfect spot right here for Florida. I like Florida -2 here to win at home, and to kind of cause this upset.
So Florida's the favorite?
Yeah.
How is a favorite an upset?
Well, I still think it's an upset because Baylor's still the ranked number 1. So I know from a betting line,
It's shocked that the number 1 team is coming in here as a dog.
Yeah.
Now, is that the only Big 12 team you actually think that's any good? Is Baylor? I mean, all the I think you can kind of throw in a hat and just say, "Hey."
Yeah. No, I mean you got Kansas in there. You got Oklahoma. I think is actually pretty good. But I think they're just overall. If you take the SEC and you take the Big 12, I think in general, just on average, the Big 12 is much better than the SEC. Texas Tech is another team. So
yeah, they play Kentucky. I almost like getting the points with Kentucky. Texas Tech has lost their last 2, right?
Texas Tech has, yeah, but they're really good on defense. But then, like, do you trust Kentucky to go on the road and shoot it well? Against Texas Tech. I feel like Kentucky just hasn't shot the ball well in a lot of their games. They've kind of like scrapped it out if they've won, but it just hasn't been like an overall dominant, like what we're used to seeing with Kentucky, where they just come in and they like dominate a team and they take it down. It's been more of like up and down. They're kind of getting by.
They've got 4 losses, but all 4 losses are less than by what the spread of versus Texas Tech is.
Are they really? Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, they lost to South Carolina at South Carolina. They lost by 3 points. They lost to Utah at Utah. They lost by 3 points. There's a theme that keeps going on here, just to let you know. They lost to Ohio State. That game was home. That one was 6. That's their biggest loss of the season. I don't know. The fact that I'm getting 4, if I was getting 4 or 5, I might lean Kentucky.
Yeah, I would. I like 4 or 5. If I was saying if it was 3 or under, I would maybe lean Texas Tech. And the only reason is I know Kentucky has this size advantage over Texas Tech. But if it ends up being like a grinded out game, if Kentucky just can't come in there and like dominate and shoot consistently, then I think that works more into Texas Tech's favor. But I had this game projected at like almost 3 points. So it being either 4 or being 5, I would take Kentucky on the road. But I do think Texas Tech, after that TCU loss last week, well, that was on the road, but they do come home and they do come out fired up. So, it could be a back and forth game. But like you said, with that 4, or even if it gets bet up to like 5 points, I would take Kentucky there in that one.
Okay. I could see that. Anything else in this that you're looking for? You said you like Auburn -8.5. That's a lot of points.
Auburn -8. No, I mean I don't. Auburn at home. I mean, no, I don't really like them at 8.5. I think that is a lot of points. You're right. Like I said, I think they're not as good as their record. And they're playing. Who are they playing again? It's Missouri. No, not Missouri.
Iowa State.
Oh, Iowa State.
They're playing the Cyclones.
Yeah, Iowa State's been actually doing pretty good if you've been following them. I like them to cover 8.5 points versus Auburn.
Okay, because I've lost so much money on Auburn going against you. Been an Auburn backer, and then what Auburn basically is laid an egg every single time I bet on them. That was my only question. My only question is, all those games have been on the road. This one's back at home.
Right. But I still think Iowa State on the road has actually done pretty well. So I'm not saying they're going to come in there, they're going to win against Auburn. Auburn's definitely going to win this one. But I I definitely think Iowa State can cover the 8.5 points there with them.
All right, hold on. We got another special guest coming in right now who's waving at me. Uh-oh. Let's see. He's driving from his car. Here we go. Carpool karaoke. Come on, Twatty. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, boys?
Not much. We're just going over some of the looks of the game, some live action. How you doing this morning?
Still a little sick fighting the fucking flu, but I'll get over it here at some point. But I just wanted to pop in, talk about my Pitt Panthers. We're 9-1 with them this year, so wanted to give out a free play with them today. They're traveling to Syracuse, and again, we're going to be looking at the under in this game. So I think it was low, maybe 133, 132.
I'm seeing 131 right now.
Yeah, that figures. I'm still good. I think I'm good down to about 128 in this game.
The first half absolutely scared me in the North Carolina game. I'm not going to lie. You saw the first half last week. I was like, they put up like 65, 70 points, and I was like, oh, crap, we're in trouble. And then the second half, they couldn't score.
Yeah, Pitt is not going to put together two good halves of basketball, especially in the Carrier Dome. Now, Syracuse defense isn't what it's used to be, but it's still a good defense. Pitt's offense is very erratic. They're not going to put together two good halves under any scenario. They really haven't done it all year, and they won't do it again today with a good defense. Syracuse offense is actually a little bit better this year, but Pitt has a hell of a defense. So, again, I think they neutral out. I see a 65-60 type game, 68-61, somewhere, in that range. So that's going to be the pick. We're Capper Investments 9-1 on Pitt plays this year, so that's what we do. So
nice. We'll definitely take that. We'll go the under. Right now, the official one I see is 131.5. So that'll be the official play. Anything else you like? Are you going to bet on the atrocity called North Carolina versus Miami? First one 50 wins.
No, no. I'm about to run in, pick up some breakfast, and then while I'm eating breakfast, I'm going to look over the game. So, what you'll be on for about an hour and a half?
Yep, we're going to be on until 11:30. Mike's going to join us at 11 o'clock. So, yep, I might be on a little later because my wife said she's leaving. So, to go to the movies. So then there's nothing stopping me from just staying on. All right.
Awesome. Okay, boys, let me eat and look at the rest of the schedule, and I'll jump back on.
All right.
Sounds good, Twatty.
Thanks, Twatty.
All right.
Oh, yeah, Sean, going back to the Texas Tech-Kentucky game, I was going to say if people are like stuck on a side, the under there as well. Him mentioning the under looks really good to me there as well. I like the under in that game. I think both teams are really good defensively.
Yeah. You okay? Why? Times you work. Okay, so the two of us come down there around 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me exactly which part of the hospital? The hospital's pretty big. Okay. All right, you alright? Look like you're panicking. Okay, don't. Just have a breather, relax. You have plenty of time. Sorry about that, Sean.
Yeah. So Rich G's asking about Oklahoma, actually. That was another game I was looking at. This is one of those hot teams versus cold teams where there isn't a big matchup disparity. Mississippi State has won 3 in a row coming into Oklahoma. The Bulldogs, they did get Weatherspoon back. That's why they've been playing a little better. So having him at point guard has definitely changed their team. But I think Oklahoma can match up in size to Reggie Perry. And I really don't trust Mississippi State on the road. They really haven't been that consistent of a team on the road. Oklahoma's coming off that loss at Baylor. And I think this is just a spot. I think the line's a pick 'em right now. I like Oklahoma here at home to kind of put a dent into this Mississippi State 3-game win streak.
Yeah, I'm seeing 1.5. It's an okay favored by 1.5.
Yeah.
But still a good look. I'll take that. I have no problem with that. All right, so we're on Florida -2. We're on Oklahoma pick'em. His other game he was mentioning was the Tennessee game. Rich wants to stay in the SEC. And it's interesting because Rich is asking us for looks because Rich is on fire. I know everybody who's on here is on the Discord, but if there's anybody watching this later, you got to get on the Discord. There's some guys that are straight just rolling. Rich is on an unbelievable 62-32, not counting the 5 games from yesterday. So he's actually 67-32. He's over at least over 30 units of profit, and that's 100%. You could see the game he picked. You could see the line he picked. You could see whether it won, whether it cashed in history forever. So that's the way to be transparent. So anyone can see what you picked, what the lines were. That's gorgeous. Rich is actually one of the guys I've been just tailing. He's just on fire right now. So it's almost an autoplay right now. Just like that, Rich is ready to post his picks. So he's definitely made me some money this week. So that's a positive thing. So I was interested. He's given us some games to look at. So he talked about that Tennessee game, Tennessee, Kansas. I mean, I don't think this Tennessee team's any good. I really don't.
I mean, they won 4 of their last 5. But if you look at the teams that they've beaten, it's all crap teams. It's Vandy, Missouri, South Carolina, and Ole Miss. So their 12-6 record isn't as good as it looks. I think they got blasted by Georgia. I'm not sure if it was the last game or whatever, but I don't think they stay anywhere close here. I mean, it's a Rick Barnes team, so it's a Tennessee Rick Barnes team, so they're going to play defense. But I don't know and I don't know what the line is. I think it's 14.5.
Yeah, I see 13.5 right now. Yep.
All right, 13.5. If you were to take the efficiency from Ken Palm and you were to come up with a line for this, it would be, let me see, it would be 14.7. So it's actually right. It's right where it should be. So there's no edge there.
No edge means stay away, or just wait to get live. I mean, all these games have runs, so
yeah, I would stay away from this one. I don't really. I mean, if anything, I would maybe lean toward the under, just because Tennessee is going to play good defense. My only concern is that they just have no offense to keep up with Kansas, so they're going to get beat up, I think.
Yep. Just to give you guys something I'm looking at, I'm looking at a win the rest of regulation for Mönchengladbach right now. That's going on right now. The score is 1-1. I like what I'm seeing from them. I like them to take off, but right now it's at -125. I'm personally going to take it, but I'm just going to watch it here before I give it out at a free play. Hopefully we get 5 or 10 minutes to no score and we get a little better line on that. I'm looking at the Leipzig game. The score is 0-0, and Leipzig still a -400 for basically draw no bet money line. So looking at that, so far no real action that's going to be able to take care of us to be able to play. So you're leaning Kansas to cover to 13, or you really want to see if we can get a 10, some kind of number under 10?
I'd rather see if I get a number under 10, but I know Rich was saying he's looking at Kansas team total under 70. Like I was saying, I was probably leaning to a total game under here. So I like that look a lot too. Kansas team total under 70 because, like I said, it's a Rick Barnes Tennessee team, so they're going to play defense and they're going to try to limit Kansas as much as they can. So yeah, I like that look, Rich.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me is that 126. That seems to be the kiss of death. NCAA total 125, 126. Are you rolling the dice? Are you feeling lucky? Do you see someone's gonna get there? Especially in college basketball, somebody gets up by 8 or 9 points. The last 2 minutes is going to score like 14 points because they're just fouling every 10 seconds.
Exactly.
Yep. That's my other question. I'm going to try to look at that game live. The game I was kind of more interested in this SEC Classic was LSU Texas.
Yeah, so that one I was actually talking about that a little bit in the Discord last night. I'm all over Texas on this one. I just, like I said, LSU are frauds. If you look at their adjusted defensive rating, it's really, really bad. They're like at the bottom, and they've had 5 straight wins. All of them have been by 2 to 4 points. So basically 1 or 2 possessions. It's been a coin flip. They've been getting lucky. They've been pulling that out. And they kind of like did the same thing last year too. They had those like 5 overtime wins, I remember. So you have Texas now coming back home after getting, I think they got trounced by West Virginia last week on the road. So I think they're motivated. Shaka Smart really has to I don't know if his job is in trouble, but he's going to be getting this team motivated too to get a home win here. And I think Texas has the matchup advantage from the 3-point line. Which is LSU's actually their biggest liability is the 3-point. So I like Texas at home here, getting, what is it, 2 points right now?
I see 1.5.
1.5, yeah. So I like 1.5 or even the money line. I mean,
yeah. I mean, at 1.5, sometimes you might as well just go the money line. It could play a major part, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good bounce back spot. And again, like I said, all of LSU's wins have been by 2 to 4 points. If you look at them, their last 5 wins. So it's not like they've been coming in and blowing teams out and playing really well. It's just been more of like hang around and then something just goes their way and they end up like getting 1 basket and they end up winning. So I think Texas is just going to be motivated playing at home. And I think LSU's luck has to end at some point, winning these like 2-point games.
Okay, I definitely. All right, I'm about to say there's enough guys on Texas. I will add that to my looks to take. I definitely look. What else are we looking at? Let's get out of this SEC thing. We've got a lot of interesting games today. You've got Illinois, Michigan.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, Illinois is the ranked team, not Michigan. If you told me that at the beginning of the year, I would say you're nuts.
Yeah, I mean, Illinois. The problem with, Illinois is like I actually took a futures bet on them. I just threw like random $50. I think it was like 80 to 1 or something. They're a popular team right now. They're being talked about because they are top of the Big Ten. I think are they tied with Michigan State? I think they're tied with Michigan State. But I think the line that they have right now, what's the line? Is it like 7 or 8 points or
4?
4. Okay. So the line is kind of, wow. So that's, I don't know if it came down or not. That actually might have came down. Let me look real quick. Control Michigan. Oh no, it opened up 3.5, so it's been hanging out there. I actually like Michigan here because I have this line at 5.5. So getting Michigan at 4 is pretty good. I just think it's an overreaction to Michigan's last game versus Penn State. And Illinois, like we said, is the popular team. They're top of the Big Ten. So I think it's more of a sell high spot on Illinois and like buy low on Michigan. And I think I don't know. Is that what's his name? Isaiah Livers? I know he was out for Michigan.
Livers?
Yeah, I don't know if he's coming back or not. but
I don't know if Livers comes back. That's a totally different team, but
Yeah.
I don't believe he is back for this one.
Okay. So the issue here is that Michigan hasn't covered their last 4 of the 5 games of their spread. And they are playing bad. Illinois does have a little bit of a size advantage, but they let up a lot of points in the paint, and that's where like Michigan actually, that's their bread and butter, is actually in the paint. And if Teskey can stay out of foul trouble, I think they can control the inside, and it's a good bounce back spot for Michigan. I think Illinois is, like we said, it's more of a sell high spot on Illinois and buy low on Michigan here. So I like Michigan with the 4 points at home.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning that way. I just think this game is going to be huge for them.
Yeah.
The other thing I was possibly looking at, kind of as a borderline cover, would be the over.
Yeah, I can see the over too here.
If Michigan's going to come out, they're going to jack threes. They're going to play inside out to be able to head. Illinois is going to try to push the pace. Definitely, they want to be able to make Michigan run, kind of negate that size advantage that they have. I could definitely see the over. I might take the over right now. Looking at the games, you got Nova Providence. Why is the line so short?
I think with this, I think it's because Nova's been susceptible on the road, and I think Providence is they're desperate right now. They're coming off back-to-back losses, and Nova. I think, when was the last time Nova was on the road? Marquette, was it?
The last game Nova was on the road is them Creighton.
Oh, Creighton, yeah, and that was like a really, really close game. And I think the last time, and then when they were at Marquette, they got Marcus Howard. Obviously, he dominated them. I think Nova just relies on the 3-point shot. Every time they've gotten hot, hasn't it been like Gillespie launching threes from like outside the arc, or Robinson Earl, and Providence actually doesn't allow a lot of 3-point shots. They're actually pretty good from the perimeter in defense. So
I see.
I can't find a side on this.
They allow a 33% mark behind the 3-point attempts. As opponents have attempted 399, they've made 133.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't like teams that rely on the 3 on the road. I just think it's
doesn't travel as well. Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't travel as well. The crowd isn't there to like hype you up and get you all energized and everything. So this one's kind of like a stay away from me. Maybe if it's live, a better line, but 2 points just seems like it can go either way. Like I don't see Providence dominating them either, but I don't know. This one's kind of like a stay away from me. Maybe a live bet if I can get something better than 2, maybe like a 4 or 5.
Yeah, to me, this I will take this at an ACCA. It just, to me, screams ACCA. It's one of those lines I just can't pass up, so I have to put it in ACCA. I just can't sit there and say, okay, I lost this because I was stupid enough.
You're getting 2 points with Nova. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
So to me, this is where I know other people are totally against parlays. I'm not a person that's totally against parlays. If done right, they're perfectly fine, which means make sure that last game is way later. And then, as everyone jokes around with me, I've got both sides because that's what I do. I'll take games that I really don't want to single bet, and I'll sit there and I'll end up with both sides. We'll talk about MMA, but I have basically both sides locked up. So for the most part, it doesn't really matter who wins or loses tonight. I'm going to make some money. So that's just the way I do it. I do a lot with soccer. That's there. A lot of times that kind of helps me because I'll take a good favorite, like I'll take Nova, then I'll take a minus 300, and then I'll take somebody at 8 o'clock that I'm looking. Damn it, Frankfurt scores. They go up 1-0. There, Paderborn scores, goes up against Freiburg. There, Union Berlin, we get a goal. No surprise to anybody. Celtic is winning. I'll tell you guys right now, every week I have a Scottish parlay. I take Celtic, I take the Rangers, and then I mix them in with some other teams that I think are going to win. It
Just
doesn't
on the money line?
Yeah.
That's it?
Doesn't pay that well, but most of the time it's plus 200, plus 300, something like there. It's just a way sometimes to pad your bankroll. Because Celtic is probably maybe losing once this year in the Premier League. And for example, they spent 175 million on salary. The fourth place team in salary spends 35.
Wow.
Everybody else is lower than that. You've got teams that don't spend 5 million in the Scottish Premier League. So they're going to win almost every game except when they play the Rangers, Aberdeen. Those are the two games that at least turn into somewhat of a game. But other than that, they're going to demolish whoever they play. Anyway, moving on to basketball. We looked at that. Do you believe in this Rutgers team?
I do.
You do. Even though did they lose their last game? Yeah, Iowa.
No, did they?
Yeah, they lost 80-85.
Were they at home or on the road?
I think they were on the road, or they might have been at home. Yeah, they were at Iowa. Yep.
Yeah, the RAC is one of the hardest places in college basketball to play. So I think Rutgers here. I like them. I like them here at home. I don't think they're going to do a lot in. They're going to end up making it to the tournament, and they're probably not going to do much there because defensively, in like neutral court or on the road, they're actually really bad. And maybe at home too, they're actually really bad defensively. But in here, I kind of like them at home to cover.
Okay, so you like them to cover the 13. That's not a look for you. You don't merit. That's a lean for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I think St. John's DePaul is going to be a very good game. 4.5 is kind of a lot of points with St. John's. I know Rich has been cashing a lot with St. John's. EGV says he's in Rutgers too. Yep.
I mean, I think DePaul struggles with turnovers, and St. John's does a good job of getting those turnovers. So I would actually take St. John's with the points here. The other game I like is Notre Dame at Florida State. I think.
What time's that game?
That one is. Can't seem to find. That's at 8 p.m. tonight.
All right, another 8-1. Okay.
So, well, with that one, I feel like Florida State's like typically overvalued at home. They're kind of like their style of play is kind of like Maryland, but they're just a better defensive team than Maryland, where they start off really slow. They're a team that starts off really slow. That's why when I see like these high, like 8 points, 10 points with like a Maryland or with a Florida State, I kind of like to go the other way. I like Notre Dame coming off that Syracuse loss, and I think Florida State hasn't actually been dominant in like their past couple of wins. Like they haven't been blown out teams by 10 points. They like to turn you over. I think that's how they get a lot of their points. Is Florida State will cause turnovers, and actually Notre Dame, I think, is actually one of the top teams in the country for the lowest turnover percentage. So it won't work to Florida State's like advantage here to being able to get those turnovers. And then Florida State also sucks at guarding the three, and Notre Dame is I think there might be like a top 30 3-point shooting team. So as far as Florida State's weaknesses go, Notre Dame kind of meets all of them. I don't think Notre Dame's going to actually win at Florida State, but that 8 points seems like a lot to me. So I think Notre Dame will cover those 8 points.
Yeah, it's going to 9 right now.
Yeah, even better. I would take 9.
So you're at Notre Dame plus 9 at 8 p.m. All right. This game scares me. And the reason it scares me is this. Yes, what you're saying is correct. Notre Dame shoots 34% from 3. The turnover ratio, Notre Dame only averages slightly less than 10 turnovers a game. So Florida State's not going to get out and run. The issue I have with this game, and this has kind of been Notre Dame's Achilles' heels in the years past, they don't have enough athleticism to play with Florida State. CJ Walker, Vassell, those guys should easily be able to create their own shots. I agree with yes. I'll tell you, you've been doing a lot better in college basketball than me. But yeah, that's my one question of this game. I wouldn't be shocked to see maybe a Florida State first half. I definitely think you're right. They like to keep it close, but the last couple of games, I believe those were on the road. When they hadn't close, they were at Miami, and that was a lot closer game than what we thought. They played Virginia, but you throw that game out with all the stats. So that actually kind of brings a lot of the scoring and the numbers down anytime you have to play Virginia twice. When they're at Miami, yeah, they went into overtime. They scored 79. At Wake Forest, they scored 78. At Louisville, they scored 78. At Georgia Tech, they scored 70. All those other teams suck.
So we really haven't seen them at home, I guess.
Yeah, that's been the one question. I wonder if they athleticism, but 9 points is a lot. I definitely think Notre Dame definitely can sneak in the back door, especially with their 3-point shooting. Is Fugger or whatever his name back?
Fluger? Yeah. I think he is, yeah. I have to look that up, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
Because I think he's only played like 2 or 3 games. So John Mooney essentially is their big gun.
Florida State, I'm a big fan of Mooney. He doesn't get enough credit, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, Florida State will also travel to Virginia right after this, so that's could be a little bit on their minds. All right, let's move on. We'll take Notre Dame plus 9. We'll lock that in. That's the official play. Anything else you're looking at?
Maybe the other one I was kind of looking at Dayton. I think they were 6 points over Richmond. I think Dayton has peaked at their at their price in the market. I think Richmond can make it like a 5 or 6 point game. I was kind of doubting Richmond originally, but their last game, I was going to bet them. But then I was talking to one of my other friends who's big on college basketball, and he convinced me not to. And then they came out and they blew out. I forget who they were playing, but they blew them out by 30 points or 20 points. The only fear I have about this game, I mean, anytime you see a team like Dayton who's been hyped up at 6 points, everybody wants to get on that. So I think this line's actually going to start moving. It might get to 7, it might get to 8. But Richmond's a live and die by the 3 team. That the last game that they actually played, I forget how many threes they had, but it was ridiculous. And that's actually Dayton's weakness. Not saying that they're going to be able to repeat that again, but if they do, they can actually keep that game close to Dayton. So that was kind of one that I was looking at. I haven't actually pulled the trigger or found a side on it yet, but that was kind of the way that I was going on that game.
Okay, yeah. Anytime you get Dayton -6, Dayton's one of the top 10 teams, I think, in the country right now. Obi Toppin, as long as he's playing, he can cover that spread just strictly by himself. He'll be a lottery pick next year. Definitely a big move. What about the USC versus struggling Oregon State team? And you're getting 3 points. It's at Oregon State, though. That's the only question. But USC has definitely been a team that has
USC's been on fire. Yeah.
They lost to Oregon double overtime when they were trailing almost the entire game. It's definitely a team I would look at getting 3 points. Oregon State's a little tricky. They're generally a lot better at home, but they've come in here kind of losing 3. They lost to UCLA at home, and I think UCLA is terrible. UCLA's got a bunch of former players' sons on the team, but other than that, none of them are actually playing it anything. So, have you looked at that game at all?
Yeah, I was actually looking at that too, just because I've actually bet Oregon State like on the side. I don't know if I bet them last time or his time before that, but every time they burned me when I have bet them. They are not playing well at all. And I think that the Trojans, who's that? The guy, Okongwu, I guess. He's on the Trojans. He's actually been playing really well. And he's been dominant. And I think they'll go and they'll dominate Oregon State. I think Oregon State's just in a free fall right now, and they don't have any answers. So I like the 3 points with the Trojans. I think they're going to be highly motivated to just take this Oregon State team out too, based on the momentum that they've had going the past couple weeks.
Okay, so we're definitely. So you're agreeing with me that you'd lean USC?
Yeah.
Yep. Totally forgot. I remember they play, but you know me. We're riding that horse until she bucks us. We're on Gonzaga over 142. We're on Gonzaga minus 20.5. We're on Gonzaga over first half. We're on Gonzaga first half. They play a Pacific team that likes to get up and down. I have no idea why the line is only 142. The Zags are going to beat that line in their sleep. I really have no issue. That's one of my favorite plays of the day. Is a 142. I mean, you almost had 142 BYU Pacific the other night. Actually, I think you did actually get 142 in that game, because that game went way over that total. So, not really sure at all what they're thinking about with that game. There it is. All right, that was Pacific. I mean, that was 60-74 there, so that's 134. The Zags are going to score a lot more points than what BYU did. So, once again, it's also Gonzaga at home. Gonzaga at home just makes cash the money.
Yeah. That's a good play right now, like for the rest of this season. But when it gets to the tournament, I was actually like looking at this. Like, I think Gonzaga actually, when they get to the tournament, they are the most susceptible team to be upset. Not early in the round of like 64-32, but I don't see them making it to even the Final Four. But for now, yeah, that's a great bet in that conference. They just dominate every team there.
It's going to be a question of team versus talent. There's nobody on that team that you look and say they're a lottery pick. There's nobody, not like in years past. They're a first-round pick. You can't even say. But they go 10 guys and they can all shoot, and they can all pass the ball, and they play good team defense. Tilly is going to be able to get his points versus almost half the people in college. I definitely have no issue with the Zags. I was just saying that they're building insane stats off of like teams that like 90 to 95% of, you have a win probability against them on any given night, Yep. So they can be misleading, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is like, as far as their stats go. And that's not their fault. It's because they're the conference that they play in. And they've been the favorite, I think, like 5 times in history, or maybe they've been like a top team multiple times, and they always seem to like let down when it matters in big spots.
kind of like that Texas Tech game last year, right? That's who ousted them. I think it was Texas Tech.
And it's there, but they played North Carolina when North Carolina still had Cole Anthony. They waxed them. They played Arizona at Arizona, and they waxed them. They played Washington, who no one could score past 50 points with, and they waxed them. They put up 83 versus them. The only game they lost was that stupid game that was in the Bahamas versus Michigan with there. But other than that, I mean, they beat it. Yes, the West Coast obviously is nowhere near in the same contention, but it's not like they haven't tried. They scheduled teams there. Those teams just weren't really any good. Carolina was a lot better team than then. They were actually ranked when they played them, and they just ran up and down the floor with them. I think, depending upon who they get, like they would not want to sit there and face Georgia. Georgia would probably be one of the teams that could give them issues because their athleticism, I'm not sure Gonzaga could match. But the problem with Georgia is they don't make enough good shots. They beat you by efficiency. They score almost every time down. They get a good look almost every time down. They're not playing one-on-one ball. It's pass, boom, screen, boom, there's the shot, wide open. And they knock it down. That's there. So I think the 142 is the gift from God. So I could see 150 points easily in this game without any issue or really any look back. All right. Anything else you're looking at?
From a college side, not right now. If there is anything else, I'll throw it in the Discord. So.
All right. That sounds good. I know some people were on Utah over Washington State. Washington State's a pretty weak team coming in. The things that worries me is just 7 points. Alabama at 8.5 at Kansas State. Are you still believing in this Arkansas team at -7?
I do not believe in this Arkansas team. No, I have like this anti thing against Arkansas. But they're at home. I think TCU had that big win. I think this again. I mean, TCU is not winning this game. I'll tell you that right now. You know, they had the big win against Texas Tech. So now they're going to come in here and they're going to, I think Arkansas will end up beating them. 7 points, though. Who did Arkansas play last week? I was trying to figure that out.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
Oh, they played Kentucky. No, they played
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, yeah.
And then Kentucky before that. They lost both games. At Mississippi State, at home versus Kentucky. Then they beat Vandy, but everybody beats Vandy. And then they beat Ole Miss and then lost to LSU.
Yeah, so I have this game projected at a 4-point game. So if you're getting 7, then TCU would be the TCU. You have the edge here with TCU based on the stats. But I think Arkansas wins this game by 3 or 4. But TCU will stay within that spread. So I would go with TCU +7.
All right. Definitely do that. That's not an issue. You guys all like Rutgers.
Which is like Pac-12 equals pass, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. Gonzaga beat Oregon, but they beat all the teams in the Pac-12, but that would make sense. They're in the West Coast. They've got to play the Pac-12.
Right.
But I think Oregon's a team that's still going to go decently in the tournament. Not saying a Final Four or anything like that, but they're going to be a tough team. Nobody's going to want to play Oregon. They're just a scrappy team. All right. We actually have the chef. The chef has actually decided to join us. So let me add him onto the stream. What's up, Chef Michael? How are we doing today?
What's going on, guys?
Glad you got your internet fixed. Chef, you're on with Sean Shorkey. We've been just running through some college basketball, some different looks and things that we look today. We've been looking at the soccer. There's not a whole lot going on right now in soccer, not a whole lot opportunity. The one opportunity you could probably have is probably one thing I'm looking at is Leipzig win the rest of regulation. They're down 1-0. Keep peppering the goal having some chances here, but Eintracht's actually playing pretty good, which has kind of surprised me. I know you put out some plays early this morning, so why don't you at least tell us what those plays were?
I was on the early Australia game. I had both teams scoring over in that match, and it ended up 0-0. So that was a crap.
You took the Perth Glory game.
Yeah, it was Melbourne and Perth. Kind of an unbelievable result that ended 0-0. I mean, both of those teams are putting goals in the back of the net for fun. So that was pretty shocking to wake up and see that. Tonight, also in Australia, I have Adelaide, draw no bet. I don't think they should have any problems getting past City. Then we have Torino at Atalanta, both teams scoring over 2.5. Southampton, draw no bet. And Stoke City and Swansea under 2.5. That was pretty much it. I try to go pretty light, especially on these FA Cup matches. You never know who the hell they're going to be playing until about in a regular league match. They don't have to put their lineup an hour before the match, but these cup matches, they don't have to put their lineup out till about a half an hour, 20 minutes before the match starts. So you're really rolling the dice, locking in plays, especially the night before.
Yeah, especially that's sometimes the fun thing. You're trying to figure out, okay, who's going to play? What's the news on this? Us being in the States, we're not getting newspapers. Well, who reads a newspaper anymore? But that says, hey, this guy's looking like he's trending. Actually, RotoWorld's actually really kind of picked up their soccer news, which has been kind of nice to see. So I've been able to pop into there and see, hey, this guy looks like he's going to play. He's probable. Kind of giving me some basketball stuff. This is the stuff I'm on right now that's tickering through the bottom right now. Those were my plays I put in the Discord. From basketball perspective, I'll put that back out again as well a little later. We're at Florida -2, Oklahoma Pick'em, Notre Dame +9, Twatty's on Pittsburgh under 31.5. I'm just putting out the rest. That's there. Any live action you see? I mean, most of the games really kind of playing close to the vest. I was looking at basically Leipzig win the rest of regulation. Right now you're getting 125. I might wait 5 minutes here and see if we can get probably 150. It might be worth taking a gamble on that too. Leipzig's putting enough pressure on that I kind of like that opportunity. That Stoke Swansea looking really good at 0-0 at the half. I mean, that's got to make you pretty proud. I know a lot of people kind of lost their shirts on the well, not lost their shirts, but a lot of people had the earlier game. Spal Bologna, I know Alex gave that at over 2.5 in the Serie A show. I did tail that. I was on that, so that was good this morning. What was the one match that went there? Oh, yeah, I got lucky. I called the draw in Espanyol. So I've got a parlay with the draw as my second lead, and all I've got to do is have Real Madrid win tomorrow. So that'll be +600. So I'll be perfectly happy with that.
I don't think I've made a single La Liga bet all season.
You haven't?
No, ever since I've been focusing on the Serie A show and the Europa show, I've cut my wagers down quite a bit. I don't think I've made it. I think I've made maybe 1 or 2 Bundesliga bets. But yeah, I just been focusing on those. I'm pretty sure I haven't made a single La Liga bet all season.
I find a lot of times there's some plays you can really get, and you get some really nice numbers there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, you kind of try to know all the league. It's definitely, if you're just going to concentrate on a couple leagues, sometimes that works for a lot of people. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Hertha Berlin just ties the game versus Wolfsburg. So that's what we're looking at. So you've got the Bayern Schalke game, the Battle of Berlin. Do you think Bayern covers 2.5 goals?
No.
Those games are generally close to the vest. That's why I was trying to surprise that they came out with the 2.5. I actually thought it was going to go down to 1.5. there. If you look at the games before, there's only 2 games in the last 3 years that actually would have covered 2.5. Bayern comes in here basically just scoring 2 versus Wolfsburg, a little bit on a streak. So that's the only thing, and it is Bayern, so you just never know. But Schalke off a big win last week, so you take Schalke plus 2.5 right now.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think Bayern's gonna. I mean, yeah, Bayern's got all the firepower to do it, but Schalke has been hanging tough with the top teams this year.
Yeah, that Mönchengladbach win last week really kind of pissed me off. But yeah, well, you're coming back from break. It's the first game back, and you expect Gladbach just to come back here in first place. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of take it back, and then you lose. You not only lose, you just lost. What they lose 2-0 last week or something,
right?
And I was like, really? You're not even really going to compete. So yeah, that's the shocking me. But I definitely kind of lean Schalke plus 2.5. Looking at Paderborn picked up a red. Freiburg is not dead yet. Freiburg, I know a lot of people talked about that as a little sneaky little pick there. Had a good number on them. Can they get 2 goals in 15 minutes? Most likely they'll probably just score 1 and then hold on. Anything else you're on in the late games? Anything in the Liga?
No, I was just looking at Burnley live right now, but they're not sending out anyone from their first team, so I could see them in Norwich as drawing. Maybe look at Burnley draw no bet just to cover it, but
yeah, I was off that game as soon as I saw that Pope was no longer going to be in goal.
Yeah,
Pope has been absolute stud. That's why one of the reasons. Not sure if you're aware of this, but we cashed earlier in the week Burnley +1. I actually cashed Burnley money line at the end of an ACCA at +733. First Man U. So Mark Pope is absolutely on fire right now. So he's definitely a guy I would look for. Why in the world did they only have 66? He's basically allowing them to stay in almost every game that they need. All right. Anything else you're on? Anything from any of the other leagues besides anything else?
I had Blackpool today, but it seems that got postponed. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, some of the games get postponed in the FA Cup, and it's kind of surprising sometimes. And you're like, okay, what was you postponed for? Rain?
But that's not a cup game. That's their domestic league.
Oh, in the lower leagues. Okay.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that of why that happened. But
yeah, as far as that was pretty much all I had locked in. I had a few other leans.
What was your other leans?
I knew I was leaning towards Schalke. I leaning towards Marseille. I think I put Marseille in a parlay actually with AC Milan yesterday. But I think I still might take Marseille straight.
Yeah, I've got Marseille as one of my plays. Marseille money line, I definitely like that play.
Yeah.
I think that's going to look really nice. Gladbach. Yes, Gladbach takes the lead.
Nice.
There we go. That was my win the rest of regulation, so that's looking nice. So I'm quite happy with that. Also, I have Gladbach in a couple parlays. So I don't get to burn them yet, so that's a positive. Still a lot of game left. Not a lot, but enough game that is there. Valencia. The Barcelona game has started, and Valencia scores strikes first.
Oh, yeah, I figured that would happen. I didn't look at the line on that game, but I would have been interested in Valencia plus. I'm pretty sure it was probably around +1 or +1.5.
It was +1.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I would have taken that.
I've got both sides on this. That was kind of the game that kind of scared me for a little bit.
Barcelona's a tricky team, man. They can come out and they'll beat you 5-0 or they'll lose 3-2. You know. I mean, if not for Suarez saving their ass the other day.
I feel like every time I bet on Barcelona, I lose.
They would have lost to freaking Ibiza. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you looked at the Barcelona goal, just to let you know. So we almost had two things happened here. So you had Valencia missed a PK already. So the curse of the PK does not strike them right now. This game's way late. I didn't realize this was so late. Then they had the goal to start the second half. It bounced off the Barcelona defender's back and ricocheted into the goal. He looked like he had it lined up right away. It just bounced right off the back, changed direction, and the goalie was done. So Barcelona's down 1-0 into the 50th minute. I wonder what line we can get on Barcelona. They're starting an odd formation. They're playing a 3-1-4-2. They're not playing their traditional 3 forwards up top.
Yeah, because they're missing one.
Well, you're missing 2. Well, Dembele is supposed to be sold, and then you have Suarez that's being played. So, I mean, who is the third guy they're playing in the? Who are they going to do that? I don't even think they have a forward on the bench right now. You got Rakitic, Semedo, Vidal, Collado, Jr. Yeah, they're not running any forward on the bench. It's strictly going to be a Messi, Griezmann front line.
Yeah. That tells you all you need to know right there.
Yeah. This will be interesting to see if they can draw back here after a really unlucky goal.
Another one I'll look at how Chelsea come out against Hull.
Yeah, I've got Chelsea -1 as one of the official plays. So I definitely kind of like that. I think that's a good look that we talk about. Then I've got 2 in the Eredivisie that I like. I like Asgal Kamar to bounce back. I think they bounce back today. And then I've got Sparta Rotterdam -1.
Nice.
It's there. Anybody looking at any NBA action, anything yet that kind of tickled the fancy yet? We've got Dallas at Utah. Utah coming in completely red hot team.
Yeah, I saw. I think On Point Wagers had said Utah Jazz -4. I actually like that too because I think we're starting to see some regression with Dallas. So I like the Jazz at 4 in this game.
Yeah, definitely. You can see there. Dallas. This is the game where you're really probably going to not having Dwight Powell or any kind of interior. You can't play Porzingis for Gobert. I think Gobert will just eat him alive. So that'll be interesting.
I also like the under in the Lakers and 76ers. I just think that's going to be like a grinded out type of game. So I could see the under happening there.
All right, this one I'm going to disagree with you. And the reason I'm going to disagree is simply, since they have lost Embiid, they just run. They flat out run every single play. The one thing that kills them, though, is Tobias Harris misses like 47 threes a game, it looks like. It's one pass and shoot offense. If you look at there, yes, when they played the Raptors, they only scored 95. They scored 117 versus the Nets. They scored 90 versus the Knicks, which sucks. Bulls 100 points. Nets 117. But the Lakers, I don't know. It's a question whether the Lakers are ready to say we're looking ahead because we got the Clippers next week in 2 days, and we'll be back home, or is this the game where they're like, all right, we're going to play it like the Nets, and they're just going to go out and dominate because they dominated that game from start to finish. The Nets were never in that game. They just put their foot down and said, boop.
So you can see this going over?
I can see it going over because I think both teams are just going to run. I don't think there's going to be any play for defense. I think 218 is a little too low. Philly at home, I think, is going to shoot better, which will help that over. I think if you were in the 220s, I would say under. But if you really want to take it, you could take an over 218 to begin the game, get out to a fast start, which is what I think you'll get to, and then you'll be able to just cover with a under real quick if you want to.
Right. Okay.
By the way, Burnley scored and got a red card at the same time, so it's kind of very interesting for them. I'm sorry, Norwich scored. Yep. Paderborn scores again with 10 men. That just tells you, Freiburg, you suck. How do you give it? Yeah, 10 men, you give up a goal. Freiburg, that was your chance. They later did change the Valencia goal to an own goal now. Shocking since it came off the guy's back. But either way, Valencia scores. Stoke scores. You still got about 40 minutes left there to kind of sweat. Not too bad. It's only one goal. So still looking good for that one. There, Chef or Michael.
Yeah.
The other thing I was looking at was Chicago, Cleveland under. Neither of these teams can score. Neither of these teams can shoot. The Bulls come in with about like 6 guys injured.
Yeah, Chicago's horrible.
So that's kind of the one thought. And then I think Brooklyn will beat Detroit. I think they're coming back. They're going to want to rush off that Laker demolish, and then hopefully they'll come back. But I think they've lost more games with Kyrie than they've won. So
yeah, Harder saying that he's on that he leans Nets -2.
Yeah. So that's kind of the looks that we're looking at. Kind of see. We'll keep our eye on anything that was going through. Chef, I'll ask you because this is the pressing question of the day. Are you in the AFC or the NFC tomorrow for your betting premise here?
For the Pro Bowl?
Yep.
I honestly haven't even looked at that yet. I would probably say under. I mean, the last 5 years have been under the total, if I remember right.
Yep.
You know, when you just get a game with a group of people that don't really care about it, they don't want to be there, you're not gonna see too many points.
Yeah, my question is, if you look at the 2 quarterbacks for the AFC, they're both running quarterbacks. I don't see them turning around and calling quarterback sweep.
I don't. They're not going to be running like they would in a normal game. Yeah, it's not like the NBA All-Star game where you get 400 points because there's absolutely no defense played. But I would have to say, just on the Lamar factor, probably go AFC. I mean, you go Lamar, and then you got Deshaun Watson coming in, and then Ryan Tannehill. Those are like you just said, 3 running quarterbacks. AFC, you're going to get Drew Brees throwing the ball around all day.
Yep, that's kind of where I think the NFC wins, but we'll see. I mean, there's a lot to kind of come around and see. But again, it's not. It's a complete toss-up game.
It is. I can't even remember the last time I even watched that game.
I turn it on for a second or two. It's not something I stay at home and we're getting a bunch of guys over to watch that game. It's absolutely retarded.
Even the new format of the NHL All-Star game blew my mind a couple years ago when I turned that on.
Well, the NHL is actually one of the better All-Star games to watch. If you're going to watch an All-Star game, that's one to kind of
Yeah, that new format they got was pretty. It was pretty exciting. You know, they got the Atlantic and then the Central or whatever, and then Pacific, like a tournament style.
Yep.
That was cool.
That's it. It's kind of an interesting way to be able to watch that. Oh, Leipzig, you're killing me. This is why I like when people say who's going to win, and it's like, is Leipzig really going to challenge Bayern Munich for first place? And the answer is no, because they just can't score enough. Tottenham scores in the FA Cup. There, Barcelona should have just scored. Oh, if they're Leipzig, you're going to give up first. Well, you won't give up first place, but you're going to make everybody else get close to you. No chance to win a futures bet when that happens.
No.
Mönchengladbach scores again, 3-1. They make short work of Mainz. The over 3.5 cashes if you were on that. Hertha Berlin, Wolfsburg keep proving that neither of those teams really deserve to score. Win, it's 2-1. Wolfsburg's a team I just can't figure out. I cannot figure out if that team's any good, if they're middle of the pack, if they're bottom of the pack. They completely kind of adjust. And Hertha has been a little bit different. With the new coach in play, they're playing a little bit more close to the vest, but they're still finding ways to score goals. So definitely don't mind Hertha. I think they pulled themselves out of that relegation battle and more towards the middle of the pack. Playing more consistent football. All right. Well, we got 1 hour before the basketball games kick off. To recap, we're on nothing on the earlier games. There's a couple things you're leaning, which was basically if you wanted to take the Michigan +4, if you wanted to take Texas +1.5, but that was the only things we're really looking at in the 12 o'clock games. I'm on Villanova. I think they covered the 2 points. I think that's a gift. Twatty gave us Pittsburgh under 131.5, which is going to kick off at 12 o'clock. Anybody on anything else? I'm kind of shuffling through the comments. All right, there's a lot of comments I've missed. Shaft says, do you all like Auburn first half or full game? Sorry, D-Bunny says that. Shucks?
I mean, I'm kind of staying away from that game, but I mean, I would, if you really wanted to play it, I would play Auburn first half, but overall, I would just stay away from that one.
Delaware, D-Money says he's on Delaware first half for a quarter unit. He is striking it out. A whole quarter unit on Delaware first half. Aren't they playing a Northeastern team that's actually pretty good?
Yeah, Northeastern hasn't been playing too bad. I think Delaware did lose a couple games, but then last week they I don't know if they won or did they. Because I was looking at this spread. I was going to take the spread and I didn't, and then I ended up looking at it later and I didn't. I think Delaware actually. I don't know if they were dogs on this spread, but I think they actually came out and straight up won.
Yeah, they're the better team in this matchup, and they're getting 7.5 points. I don't follow Delaware basketball, even though it's pretty close to me, and I know people that actually are at Delaware. But how are they getting 7.5 points at 11-9 Northeastern team?
I think Northeastern at home has been actually really, really good. Or no, wait, I'm trying to think. Am I thinking of Northwestern?
Well, Northeastern's 11-9. They've come into this game basically. They beat Drexel. They lost to UNC Wilmington, who is abominable. They beat Charleston, who's okay. They lost to Hofstra, and they lost to a William & Mary team.
And Delaware just beat Hofstra last week. I think they were a dog to them, but yet they ended up coming with the upset. Yeah, I like that look. Delaware first half.
You can see if they come out there and play. What is the call? Yeah, Barcelona can't get anything together. Also, Chef, why did they change managers? I know the other guy was an intern, but they changed managers in the winter break, and I just thought that was very odd.
It is odd, especially considering, usually you see a manager change when their team is struggling, but they're at the top of the table and still competing in Champions League. It really didn't make any sense, but from everything that I've been reading and seeing and hearing from Spain, that there's your goal.
Oh,
It was a political move. I mean, there's an election next year, so everything that I've been seeing is political based, and Barcelona pretty much can do whatever they want in Spain. So,
yeah, the goal was for Eintracht Frankfurt. We want the other way around. That didn't help me, but yeah, it's surprising. I'm watching this game, and it's definitely not obviously. I mean, Suarez is no young chicken here, so losing Suarez, I didn't think was going to be that huge of a difference. It's interesting though. You look at the Valencia crowd, and they look completely like disinterested in this game as they go through. I'm like, you're up 1-0 versus Barcelona, and you look at the crowd, and they're all like, "Yeah, my dog died." So Paderborn beats Freiburg. That's huge for them for regulation purposes. That's a huge 3 points that they pick up. They're still in last place, but being able to pick up those points at least gives them a chance on a next win, moving possibly out of relegation. Leipzig, again, as the number one leader in the Bundesliga, has lost again. That's 2 weeks in a row. So if you have futures on Dortmund or Bayern winning the league, you're looking a lot better because Leipzig's in trouble. They're going to drop down. Gladbach wins. They actually take over second place in the Bundesliga until Bayern plays later today. Celtic, to surprise of nobody, is kicking the crap out of Ross County. It's 3-0. Jeff, if you join me there, I was telling the guys that I have a Scottish parlay every single week. I waste no question about it. I sit there and I at least throw a thing on the Scottish parlay and then grab like 2 games that I like. Yeah. It's just unfair the way they're playing. So, other than that, any good looks? Have you looked at anything in the Jupiler League? That Gent game should be a very good game at 2:30 later today. That game should be kind of a toss-up. Who could win that? You haven't talked about your Serie A Atalanta play. Do we trust Atalanta? Are they dropping down? I think we lost Chef Michael.
Did we?
All right. What else have we there? KG says he likes Lafayette. What time is Lafayette? It takes so long to be able to find a game on this.
I know, on Saturdays, because every time I scroll down, I'm like, and then I miss it, and I go back.
I'm like, all right, I'm on 47 games for the day. By the way, LSU Texas has dropped to pick'em.
Nice.
That line is switched. Oh, God, my shoulder's killing me this morning.
I was looking also a 4 o'clock game, NC State -1.
NC State. NC State's a solid team, but they kind of, I don't know. I think they can score.
There's one name, Funderburk.
Hasn't he been there forever?
Yeah. He's been on fire this year. The guy's a scoring machine. I know, because I bet against them, and then he just freaking puts up mad points against me. 2 guys, Funderburk and Cockburn. Both of those guys have.
Don't they have a freshman? They have a pretty good freshman, I thought.
On NC State?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember his name though. But yeah, him and Funderburk have been.
Well, Kel Johnson is their best guy. he's been there forever. He's a shooting guard that's there. But they have the grad transfer CJ Bryce, who's averaging 14 points a game. He's actually averaging the most points per game. Funderburk's at 13.1 and 5.9. Markel Johnson's at 12.8 and 4.6. What's the line on this game? I mean, they played a Georgia Tech team that pitiful is not really the name of there, but they've got some decent players in Alvarado. Be able to play. Michael DeVoe's been playing very good basketball for them. But I think they're still trying to find their rotation. But
they've been bad at home. I mean, well, I think it just against the spread in general. I know Georgia Tech. I know it's only a 1-point game, but I think in this type of situation,
why is it only a 1-point game?
Why is it a 1 point? Is
there somebody out?
I was about to go to the. I posted in the Discord, or I pinned the Roto. I think it's like Roto Grinders or Roto Wire. They have an injury list that they update. I was going to actually find that and see if there is somebody out, but I haven't heard anything after all the news that I've been reading.
Yeah, is everybody hearing him okay? I hear kind of like a feedback, but it might just be my headset that might be getting ready to die. All right. Good. Hey, Chef, you're back on. Okay. One thing we were talking about. Okay, we always forget this. I don't know why. We're almost up to the quarterfinals now. We've had the big upset from Coco Gauff, who there was a hedge play that was recommended that was definitely told no issue. There's no way she's going to win. Don't hedge. Stick with your future on Osaka. It's great.
It goes down.
Yes, it goes down at a heartbeat. But other than that, it's all right. It's all good fun. What are we looking at? Quarterfinals. Who do we like? You've been killing it on soccer. I've been killing it on tennis. Consistently making some solid plays. Over 500 every single day, which has been nice, especially since I just tail all your plays. So what do we like going forward? Who's got the thing? I know your original place. We had Keenan. We had Svetlana. We had Barty. The men's side, you said Djokovic was going to win it hands down, so there's really no other bet really to play at the futures. But even that, Djokovic I saw at minus 120 was kind of interesting. What are you thinking on the Australian Open? Give us your expert insight. What do you got?
Well, on the women's side, I mean, it's literally been all upsets happening. Out of the top 10 players in the world, only Ash Barty, who's number 1, is left, and Kvitova, who's like 7th or 8th, are the only ones left. Serena gone, Bencic gone, Vekic gone, Wozniacki gone. So yeah, there's been Osaka gone, Andreescu never showed up because of injury. So and then you have Kenin, who's the 11th in the world. So overall, I still think Barty wins this. It's in her home country, and the difference between her and the other girls is that she's more of a she's like a tactician. The other girls will I think like Serena or Osaka and them, they kind of get caught up with the younger girls, like going power for power and just trying to play it. Barty will keep like a cool head and will just try to find ways to knock off these younger girls who are just happen to be causing upsets and gunning for the win. I think tonight the matchup that was really I was looking at was Coco Gauff versus Sophia Kenin. Both of them are young. I think Gauff is 16 years old. Kenin is 19. Kenin is, I always say she's probably the toughest. Yeah, one of the toughest tennis players out there. Yeah, we can hear you, Sean.
Hello?
Sean? I can hear you. I don't think he can hear us.
Hey, can you guys hear Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right,
Or
Yellow
can you
says
hear
he can hear
you can
you.
hear
I
us?
dropped for a second. Nope.
Hello? Do you hear us, Sean?
Hello.
Hey.
All right. Hello.
I think you need to restart your computer.
1 second.
Do you hear me now, Sean?
Just keep going with your tennis.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So for the women, Corey Goff and Sophia Kenin, this matchup's really tough. I think in the end, I think. Wait, why are the guys saying hello? Sean, we hear everyone.
Oh, now we lost him.
Do you guys in the chat hear us? Yeah, they do. Yeah, so going with Kenin and Coco Gauff. In this scenario, I think we have to go with Coco Gauff. I like that at plus 140. Kenin, again, she's one of my favorite players, American players at least. And again, she's really, really tough, but I just think the momentum's with Coco. Kenin, in her last tournament, before the Australian Open, I think it was in Auckland. She didn't look good at all. I forget who ended up beating her, but she didn't look like she was on top for a game. She got by pretty easy with her first two opponents. But again, Coco knocked off Serena. She knocked off Osaka. She looks really good. So I think that's a good look for tonight. And that game starts at 10:30 p.m. So Coco Gauff plus 140.
Okay. So
then,
that's the individual plays. Yeah, I'll have to go back and listen to what you said. I completely had nothing. You guys were just talking. That's why I was like, did anyone actually hear?
I was just going off about like how a lot of the top players have just been knocked out. And it's basically just like Ash Barty, the number one in the world, a veteran, and all these like under 20-year-old girls all gunning for her. So, and on the men's side, I was up at like 4 a.m. I watched one of my favorite players, Nick Kyrgios. He was playing. He had a 5-set match that went 4.5 hours and literally went down to the wire. It's probably one of the most exciting matches I've ever watched in tennis. He was like diving all over the court, all different types of tweeners, hitting the ball in between his leg, behind the back, all different. Yeah, it was a crazy game.
He was just having fun.
Yeah, he was having fun, but he was tired as hell. And it sucks because now that he won, he has to go face Rafael Nadal, which is not like a great prize for winning. But he's beaten Nadal actually 3 out of 7 times. Nadal holds kind of the edge on him. I don't think it's going to be an upset here. I think Nadal wins that one. So as much as I would like to take him, being at home in his home country with the crowd behind him, after this 4.5-hour match, he looked like shit. He basically said like he needs to go sit in the ice bath. He can barely feel his legs, and I don't think he's going to recover playing tennis for 5 hours overnight. He's a big guy too. He's not like a smaller, quick guy where he's got like this endurance and stamina to him. He's a big, tall guy, so that definitely put a lot of strain on his body. So I think going into the Nadal match, he's gonna get creamed. So,
So you think his best tennis days are done?
yeah, I mean, like this is kind of the end of the road for him. So Nadal's a safe bet there. I know it's like minus 550. So obviously not laying 550, but Nadal would be good to throw into like a parlay if you want to. If you have other things that you want to parlay, be good to add Nadal in there. The other one is Andrei Rublev versus Alexander Zverev, and that's Rublev minus 114. That's definitely a play here. Rublev has not lost a match since the beginning of this year. He's been on a tear basically, and he's taken out all of his opponents. Zverev, he's gotten by because he had easier opponents in the first 2 rounds, but he's making a lot of unforced errors. Things that when you get up against better players, they'll be able to capitalize that against you and use it against you. So just looking at it quickly right now, I really like Rublev at minus 114. Then I just got to dig into the other ones. But those are the 2 right now. So Coco Gauff at plus 140 and Andrei Rublev at minus 114 on the men's side.
Okay. So we're going with Coco now.
Now we're going to Coco. Yeah.
Okay, we are actually back switching up, or we're taking.
I mean, it's like you can't not go with her.
Okay, so at this point we've said all right. So let's look at. I'm trying to look at the bracket because I know half the bracket wasn't filled out there, so I don't even know.
I basically took my bracket this morning. I went gone because all the upsets that happened yesterday.
Yeah, but that's where I if you saw me in the Discord, I said this is where I generally bow out. I'm fine to bet tennis in the first couple range, put a futures bet in there, and then after that, I don't want anything to do with it because at that point, the talent disparity starts to shrink, and as it shrinks, that means it's kind of like sometimes betting these college basketball games with the points, especially in the mid-tier game versus the best team. Anybody really can win. And I almost sometimes think college basketball, if you just took money line high favorites on a lot of these teams that are at home, you'd end up at the end of the day plus. I've never tried that theory, but for the amount of times like, okay, that team won, that team cashed at plus 400, that team cast at plus 300, 280 kind of deal. Like even when there's like a 3-point thing, you're getting a money line of 240 on the other side. I'm like, okay, I'll take the 240.
If you want to think of Coco Gauff, think of her of like that VCU team that made that run in the tournament. Like she's VCU right now, or maybe Loyola Chicago from last year.
Yeah, the only problem with VCU, she's more like the Kentucky team of 18-year-old kids versus the starter that she has talent. Valencia scored again. This is turning into an absolute nightmare in that game, but that's okay. That's where we have both sides. Just I had a lot more in Barcelona. That was just dumb of me. And then that's a pick that loses too. So looking at who's left, I like to say, okay, I want one guy on the bottom, one guy on the top. So you like Barty on the top. So you think Barty's going to end up playing Coco in the semis?
No, I don't think it'll be Coco. I think it'll be
Jabora. It's not going to be. It can't be Wang, can it be?
No, it's not going to be Wang. It's either going to be. It's going to be either Mertens. Oh, you're talking about. I'm looking at it right now. Sorry. So you're looking at the top quadrant right now. Who are you going to face?
I think it's Barty on the top, and then the second there's going to be Goff, Keenan, Jabora, or Wang. It's going to be one of those people.
Oh right. Then it'll be Coco Gauff. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the semis or the 8. What are they called? Yeah, it'd be the semis.
Is it the same? I didn't know we were. I thought we were still in the quarterfinals, but yeah.
Well, we are in the quarterfinals, but
Yeah.
it'd be like,
Oh, right.
Barty
Okay. Yeah.
wins,
You're
he
saying.
plays Sakari, and then there,
Yeah.
I'm kind of extrapolating 2 matches back out.
Okay.
So I'd like to have somebody at the top and somebody at the bottom. Tomorrow's the last day to get your futures bets in. So to me, I already got Barty at the top. I'd like to have somebody on the bottom between a bunch of people that the only person I know is Halep.
I mean, she's looked really, really good. Like, she has not looked this good. Like last year, she looked out of shape. She just was not doing. But now she's like, I've never seen her play like this before. So I see her on the bottom. She's going to get past Mertens tomorrow. I see her, moving on from the bottom. Halo.
So she gets past Burden. She's going to play Swiatek or Kontaveit. One guy's the 28th. The other one's unranked. So that does set up for her to make the semis. Probably to Burton's would probably be the person, or this Kerber players looked really good as well.
Yeah, Angelique Kerber. She's really good. Damn, she's got a tough matchup against this Pavlyuchevenka girl. But Kerber is the veteran. She's the more experienced girl. And I think when you start getting later into the tournament, when you start getting into the later rounds, I think experience will come into play. Angelique Kerber's had a lot of tough matches in her life. She's faced a lot of good opponents, so she should have no problem getting past Pavlyuchevenka. And she's kind of the underdog here, so yeah.
All right, so it's worth taking a flyer on Halep. Keep my flyer on Barty. I think Halep was paying plus 465. That's probably a decent enough to just put a quarter unit or something like that on it. Okay. And then Kerber would be your long shot, but you think she could actually make it?
Yeah.
Now, on the men's side, you've been strong on Djokovic, that it's Djokovic's tournament to lose.
Right.
But there's no adjustment that you're making as far as if there was anybody you're going to have. Like, most people think Federer is spent. They think he's used a lot of energy to get where he stopped.
Yeah, and he's got another tough matchup. The guy that he's got to face, Fucsovics. Fucsovics is like, he's been on a tear. So I think Federer is just going to have this is going to be another close one where Federer is going to have to try to dig down deep and find a way to win it because it's not going to be easy on him. And I think if he gets past this, he's just going to be spent, man. The guy's old, and it's taken a toll. That 5-round match with Millman that went over 5 hours, and then he's probably going to have another at least 4-set, maybe even a 5-set match with Fucsovics. So I think it's just going to take a toll on his body. And
okay, so you think that's going to be probably Medvedev versus Nadal up at the top. Then we're going to have Djokovic versus most likely, I don't know, somebody up at the top. That's essentially will be your semis. Okay, all right, I can play around with that. Just to let you know, we did get the Chelsea lineup. We got Hudson-Odoi, Batshuayi, Pedro up top. Mason Mount, not surprising, gets the middle. He's playing left wing. Kovacic and Ross Barkley actually figures out where the pitch is. They actually brought him back out of retirement. We do get a very interesting center back who I've never heard of, Tomori Fakawo. All right, Chef Michael, how good of a player is Tomori Fakawo for Chelsea? Mike, I think you're muted. I don't hear you.
Did we lose Mike now?
Mike. Yeah, he's listed as muted. Mike.
Yo.
Okay, there you are. Okay. So what's your take on the new Chelsea center back for this game?
I was saying he's probably about as good as your pronunciation of his name. But the Chelsea line, after the lineup came out, moved to 1.5. So
Yeah, I definitely I like their front three versus there, and I definitely also look at Hull's front three, and they're
Oh,
kind
thank
of
you,
weak.
Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton. Oh, you had both teams scoring that?
No, I have Southampton draw no bet.
Okay, well that at least covers you.
Yeah.
Yep. So KG is questioning the 6.5 D money. They're talking about UNC and the under 144.5. Looks like Barcelona's going to just go away with a whimper here. They're not even really putting up a fight. West Brom picked up a red card, so they're doing their best to see if they could draw after winning almost the entire match. Tom Eves starts there. Never heard of this guy. George Honeyman. Yeah, Hull's putting out a pretty weak lineup. They're actually putting out their backups, it looks like, on a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Chelsea should win without any issue. Didn't even realize that started again. The Super League starts today. Back up. One of my fun teams to play with is Examos. They like to go over in almost all their matches.
I got I think tomorrow, Young Boys and Basel, both teams are scoring over.
It's definitely a good look.
Yeah.
Basel's they're definitely, if they played with Europa League, that set up Valencia scores again. Okay, no, they're just showing them hugging a guy for whatever reason. I get that was off to the second goal. I just looked up and they're all hugging him at the outside.
You guys got anything in UFC?
My buddy swears up and down that Michael Chizo is going to win, and he's at plus 225.
I keep seeing a lot of love for Chiesa.
And I've seen Dave is on the opposite side. He thinks the other guy is going to win. But there, he wasn't in the dog zone. I've seen the guy Johns, a lot of people like.
Sean, I think Twatty wants to get on.
I don't see him in the setup. I don't see you in. Let me see if I can send a different invite to him. See if the invite changed when I reset that. 1 second. Twatty's got to play here, so we're going to. Bankaroo is still as Barcelona. Sarah, let me see if it changed at all. Twatty, I'd let you in, but I don't see you. You can have it. Oh, there. Oh, I see Twatty. He's off the side. Sorry. All right. Sorry about that, Twatty. Why are you always moving? Every time we get you, you're in the version of moving.
I'm what?
You're always moving. You're taking a walk. You're driving. You're never sitting still.
Is that all right?
That's fine.
No, I'm just busting your balls. I wanted to come on real quick and talk about Baylor today. Baylor in Florida, the marquee game of the day. Didn't that line a little high for those two teams? The total?
What's the total?
I think 131.
It's at Florida.
I went back and I looked. Every time one of those two teams plays a good defensive opponent, they don't touch 130. They barely touch 120. They both played Butler, who could D up, and I think both those games were in the 115s. The Texas Tech game, the Texas game for Baylor, those were in the fucking 115s, 110s. Both these teams can D up. They're known for playing defense. I just think that's a little high. What do you guys think?
I can see that, but I think they're playing that on. Baylor actually averages 71 points, but some of those 71 points are completely adjusted because they played some really weak teams. Like they're counting 83 points against Jackson State. They're counting 78 points for Maryland Eastern Shore. But when they played actual competition, they scored 61 versus Oklahoma.
Right.
They did score 75 versus Oklahoma State, but Iowa was 68, Kansas was 67, Texas was 59.
Right.
Butler was 53. So, yeah, I mean, I can see that. Look,
and then Florida put up back-to-back 100-point games, but one of them, I think, was against a D2 opponent.
Yeah, but Florida generally scores in the 70s. That's the only issue. Even versus
Florida also has like scoring. I mean, like they've gotten better now consistently scoring, but up until like the past 2 weeks, they haven't. They haven't been like consistently scoring. Like they have shooting issues as well, or they could have shooting issues as well.
No doubt, and their coach is a defensive first coach, no doubt, and so is Drew. I could see this one being in the low 120s actually, and who knows? I could be completely wrong, and it's 75-70. But just looking at those teams and who they played, the good defensive teams they played have all shut them down. So I'm gonna probably roll with that, Sean. If you want to put that up, you can. Unless you two are against it, I don't want to be outvoted.
I like that.
Or you
actually.
three are against it, I should say.
I like that play.
What's the total you got?
Oh, and furthermore, I think I like Baylor. Give me the money line on Baylor.
Yeah, you're differing with Sean there.
Yeah, I mean, I like the total better, so maybe we'll stick with that. But I would lean Baylor just to get the win. But don't give that out if Sean's on the other side. Then we'll just we'll roll with the total as long as you guys are cool with that.
No problem. What's the total you got?
I think it was 131.
Yeah, it's 131.
All right, we'll go ahead and go with that. Chef, you cashed that under 2.5 in the Stoke one. They really tried to test your bud, scoring a last-second goal to get there. You're like, all right, is there going to be extra time? Barcelona loses. That's a loser, unfortunately. Today, so I think that's my first loss of the day. After going bagel yesterday and Friday, I have more Friday bagels than any other day. I really should only bet on Fridays. But still, for the week, I'm 18-10, so that's not too bad.
Have you ever gotten a bagel on a Tuesday?
The chef probably doesn't get that. Tuesday's my nemesis. I have the worst record of all time on Tuesdays.
That's like my Fridays.
Yes. So we lose to Barcelona. That's the only game that's taken off. Marseille's in action. That's at 0-0. So that still game can go anyway. Southampton finishes off 1-1. So no real change there. On the adjustment, we've got the college basketball plays. One of those games is about to kick off at 12 o'clock. That's UNC under 131.5.
Michigan is about to kick off.
Yeah, we're on. We leaned Michigan plus the 4. I took that in an ACCA. We leaned Texas Pick'em. A lot of people were on Rutgers minus 13. That was definitely a lot of good plays that we liked. Rich was on. Rich kind of was telling us that he was pretty big on the LSU team total under 71. That was his play for the game. He was on the Dayton minus 6. He's tailed us on the Oklahoma minus 1.5. That was your Oklahoma pick'em. And you're on Notre Dame plus 9, obviously flashing across the screen. We still got some soccer plays that are still going out there. But let's some of these games kick off, and we'll kind of see where it goes from there. My wife's left, so I'll probably be on a little bit later for here. We'll probably get into this first half of some of these college basketball games. So other than that, it's going to be a long day. Trying to figure out what else we're looking at. Oh, yeah, we're on Twatty gave out Pittsburgh under 131.5. He's 9-1 on Pittsburgh plays this year. He just gave out Baylor under 131. That's there. I gave out Zags over 142 is my favorite play. I also gave out Zags over 66.5 first half. if you feel lucky and you want to take Zags first half -12, I would have no issue with that, or Zags -20.5 too, which is also was one of my plays. I just think they roll. I don't think there's any question about that. I'm waiting to live to look at this Auburn game. I definitely want to see kind of how that's going to end up. I basically,
Yeah, I think that Auburn game is a good live play.
unfortunately, with this Barcelona loss, that kind of kills me in one of the things I was doing. Leipzig loss, that sucked. So that was 12. That was 15. So I'm down a little bit for the day on my personal plays. I just locked in an RDA win, so I'm not too important that. One of the plays I know Dave gave out, UFC bro picks, who I kind of tail, gave out 2 UFC because you mentioned some UFC plays that likes. He likes a. Did I lose it? Yeah, I guess I lost it last night. Oh no, where is it? It's still there. He gave out 2 guys he really likes. One was a guy by the name of Johns. Where is he? Brett Johns at even money. He's one of the earlier cards too. If you want to get on that, it's at 535. He really likes that guy. He liked Lena Landsberg plus 115. I think Dave was on her as well for a woman's action. Jamala Hill. My buddy really likes her. That's a pretty good match. And then Michael Chiesa is dropped down under 200 now. He's plus 175. So you got money running on him. I think everybody and their mothers on Curtis Blades. I haven't seen one person on Junior Dos Santos. So that's my own thing. I'm not capping MMA. So I'm just telling you kind of what I've read and kind of seen. Some guys I tail. There's better cappers out there, but the people that I'm tailing generally do really well. So take that with a grain of salt. What are you looking at, Michael?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't even try to attempt to handicap MMA. I usually do it live, over and unders. I don't usually try to pick the winners. They can throw a rogue uppercut and your favorite's going to get knocked out. So I usually go with just over and under on the rounds. Would look at the over on the Blades match.
Okay.
I don't think we see an early knockout there.
It's trending the other way. But you
Is it
think
really?
yeah, it's minus 150 on the under 2.5.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't look at that then. As far as RDA, I don't think Chiesa is going to be able to hang with him for the full 5 rounds. I think Dos Santos will get him eventually.
Chiesa's got some really interesting submissions. If you look at my buddies, sends me all these he's like, look at how he did. He got a 1-arm bar with him. Look at that. That's amazing. And I was like, what's the quality of fighter that he beat?
Right.
Is he any good? So yeah. We have Fenerbahce about to kick off. I'm not watching Turkish Soccer League.
All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here before this Chelsea game starts.
All right, enjoy. Thanks for coming on, Mike.
All right, fellas.
Yep.
All right, later, Mike.
See you next week.
All right, so instead of college basketball, we have live action of the Senate floor hearing.
What? Oh, shit, somebody's texting me.
Yeah, apparently somebody didn't show up for the cross-examination portion of this, so everybody's talking about this. Really, am I not going to watch basketball to get the Senate hearing? That's why they have C-SPAN. All right, ESPN's got to be having a basketball game.
Pitt Syracuse under 131. I have a friend. He like texts me. I'm like, dude, why'd you wait till 12 o'clock to ask me? Like, he's like, do you like anything right now? I'm like, the games are going off.
Yeah. Well, the Pitt Syracuse game is on TV, which is good. We got the Iowa State Auburn game. Like I said, we lean Auburn in this game, but I was trying to get a better number. We'll see what we can get. All right, let's go off. Let's get a quick start here. Auburn at home. We've got a bunch of people in the front row wearing a sweater that says Bruce with like 8 guys. I assume they just created a bunch more vowels because they have more plate people. Oh, they're painted. Okay, they're not sweatered. All right, the women are painted too. I wonder if they're just painted. Could be like a Sports Illustrated thing going on here. All right, let's look at the comment section here. Two playing on the chat. Michigan's best players back again today, according to Yella. That means Isaiah Livers is in.
Yes.
All right, we start off the game with an Iowa State dunk. Uncontested in the half court. That's difficult to do.
Yeah.
And of course, Auburn shoots the first 3, clanks it. This guy with pink shoes.
Damn, there's a lot of games. Oh no, never.
Right now, there's
There's 5 or 6 games going off, right?
Yeah.
That's all you.
We've got the incredible Miami up 2-0 against North Carolina.
That game's gonna be a complete crapshoot. It's like a flip of a coin.
The game that we were all on, the Pittsburgh-Syracuse game, is 0-0.
There goes that under.
It's actually dropped a point already.
Yeah, it's at I have 129 right now. I took it at 131.
Yep. Missouri, West Virginia is kicked off. No one scored in that game. Iowa State is up 4-0, so we should get a little bit better, decent line. Iowa State bricks their first 3. Here comes this one.
Ooh.
This guy takes every shot. All right.
There you go, Michigan.
He's going to shoot
Getting fired up.
He's going to shoot from 27 feet. Auburn hits their first 3.
Let's go.
Can't get any live line in Auburn yet. My one selective book is just deciding to say, no, you don't get it yet. Just had to stop at Pitt's head coach's house for work today. On point. Any player props for the Chelsea game? That's actually a good thing, especially FA Cup. I wonder if I even get it. Let me see what we got here.
What? How do they not call that?
Which game are you watching?
Michigan, Illinois.
Okay. What channel is that on? Oh, FS1.
FS1. I thought it was on Big Ten Network, but I guess no.
Yeah, I don't get any individual props on any of the FA Cup games. So, I mean, if you were looking at that, I would probably say Batshuayi to score anytime goal would be the one guy I would take. I think Adoy will definitely get an assist, but I never see that prop ever.
How's that not a charge? Well, I guess he didn't have the ball when he charged, but
Auburn and Iowa State are even. Iowa State has taken 4 40-foot three-pointers. They haven't hit any. Never. Were we getting points or were we laying points with Michigan? I can't remember.
We're laying points with Michigan. I had Michigan -4.
Okay. Because I see it at 6.5 now. I was like, did it swing that much?
Iowa State, Auburn is tied up 6-6.
Oh.
West Virginia is going to slaughter Missouri, but 12.5 or 13.5, whatever. I think it was like 14.5. Actually, it was too much. I just can't. Unless it's like Gonzaga, then I'll lay 14.5 in their conference. But
After working out the very first play to get the first dunk, Iowa State's offense has been terrible. Auburn's hit 3 threes. That's all they've made. No shot inside. Attempted.
I think Auburn's going to have to. Well, did it just make 4 threes?
No, that was I played it before you saw it. It's 9-6. Yeah.
No, it's 12-6.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they made another 3.
Oh, yeah, they just made it. Yeah. And then Iowa State, for whatever reason, keeps trying to shoot the same number of threes. However, they don't shoot it as well. I mean, it's not even nicer form.
You know what's coming back? Actually, remember, wasn't this like was this a long time ago when you tailed me on a play once on a basketball play, and then the other team ended up coming out and just like nailing threes all day? I forget what.
Yeah,
What play that was. I don't know if you remember that specific scenario, but I remember you like tailed me on a play, and then the team that we were on, the other team just came out hot and just launching threes from everywhere.
I think it was last year, and I think it was the Auburn game. Well, before anybody knew they were good.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Yeah. Iowa State has to really stop shooting three-pointers. I think they're 0 for 6. There was actually a drive by Auburn. They were going to attempt a shot inside the three-point arc. Yeah. Pittsburgh is already down to 126. Auburn's actually gone up to -10.5. That sucks.
First half under in the Miami game, but yeah, it's probably Q's first half over.
You got Miami at 134.5. Oh. You hate in the morning when you look up and you're like, I'm up 700. 3 hours later, I'm up 400. All right, let's continue. Oh. Syracuse is up 5-0. Pittsburgh's yet to score.
That's good for the under.
Oh, they just got a point. It's 5-1. Delaware, for whatever, I have no score. Has that game kicked off, or we're in a weird Blackpool delay? KG says he remembers that. Yeah, there was one of the things I remember when that happened. We were both like, "Yeah, it's done. They're done. They're down 10. They're down 12. Are they coming back? Is this a good chance we go on the other side?" And it was like, "No, we're just staying away. The other team can't miss." Oh, Michigan down to 5.5. All right. It's down because it was 6.5.
Nothing's worse than like capping a game and then just like it just happens to be that team's like 3-point hot shooting day. Like you just can't do anything about that. It's not something you can predict. They just go off on threes, and then your whole bet just gets blown out of the water.
Yeah, it's like getting a red card for swearing at the ref in the first 20 minutes. I was so ticked that happened this week. And I was like, really? They're down to 10 men already? He just got a yellow. Wait, he just got a red. He switched it to red. What'd he do? Oh, he sweared at the ref. It's like, you're a backup guy and you just come in. The first thing you're not going to do should be let's sit there and yell at the ref. Because he thinks he made me not understand his language. And it was like, okay. All right, we're changing some of the soccer games so we can see what's going on. I don't think any of those games will go off. We do have the Bayern game getting ready to kick off here in 19 minutes. Like we said, I think 2.5 is too much. I really do.
Yeah, every time I've done that with Bayern, I've been screwed. I've taken them like 2.5 or 3, and they don't cover.
I think they'll win the game 3-1, but I think that half is the key thing. I really think that's where it's going to jump over, is just that extra half goal.
I think I tailed D money on that Delaware plus 7.5 for a little degen action over here. How are they doing? It's not even up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I haven't even seen any scores. Auburn's starting to get whatever they want in this game. Syracuse Pitt's down to 124.5. That's good. We're getting the totally opposite of what we got last week, which means definitely the second half is going to have like 97 points.
Yeah, they're gonna blow up. They're just gonna go up and down the court. It's gonna go to like 140.
Buddy Boeheim's going to be on one foot, sitting there talking to his dad with the phone on the other, and then shooting with the other and making it. I swear, I watched that guy shoot a shot, and I'm like, that form is terrible. The legs aren't even in his shot. He just like, really? But he makes it consistently, and he makes it so much consistently. And it's like, really? All right. What am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at what I got live. Sorry. We've got the Delaware first half I'm on the Nova. I'm on this Pittsburgh Syracuse under. That looks good. That's Real Madrid. That closes that out. All right. Yeah, I did want to take something.
Come on, lock it down. Don't give him the lean. Oh,
yeah, I don't think there's any way for us to get on this.
You can get on the Michigan game now. It's tied, so I'm sure the line's probably down. That's what you want to get on.
I'm on the Michigan already at before the start. Yeah, I took that right away. I like that look someone posted. Yep. The other game I was going to be on, and I'll tell everybody to get this on before it, I was going to tell with Chef Michael. UV is going to beat Annapolis. There's no way, and you're getting plus money right now for UV. So Juventus tomorrow at 2:45. I would almost have every ACA in the world if you did one ending with that game. I think they're going to win that game without any issue. You're playing a very, very struggling Napoli team, and I think Juve wins that way, just walking away. I don't even think really it turns into a game. Just looking for a big dog to put into this. You got Virginia Tech, BC. Can't even talk about that. Tech's a team I don't know if I like them. They've let me down way too much.
Texas Tech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are facing a mortal letdown. And you thought Arkansas will beat TCU, right?
Yeah, they'll beat them, but TCU will cover the plus 7.5 or 8 or whatever it is.
Yeah. But to outright win the game, you think?
Yeah, outright win the game, Arkansas. What is Taint's play of the day? Do we have that?
Yeah, do we have the Taint play of the day? So we can definitely.
Anybody in the chat? So I know what to put my 401k on opposite.
That's hilarious. That
I mean, it
doesn't hit as much as it doesn't hit.
I feel like I could give my little cousin the phone every day and just ask him to pick out one bet, and at least like in the week he would probably hit like 2 or 3, not knowing anything at all.
When's the last time it won? Carolina might get 2 wins in a row.
Illinois is on fire from 3 right now. That's all they're doing is just launching threes, and they're going in.
I got the score at 10-9. It's still 10-9?
Yeah. All right, 12-9.
12-10.
12-10, sorry. Just hit another 3.
All right, the Delaware game score is up. They're up 8-7. Auburn's up by 6.
Delaware is what? Doing who?
Delaware versus Northeastern. They're up 8-7.
Nice. All right.
So
let's go.
Not a huge gap there, but a little gap. Michigan's down to 4.5. Pittsburgh, Syracuse is back to 125.5.
T Money goes, my sister can cap better than that.
It could be a sister capping. Who knows? Until you see these people live, you're not sure if there's a guy or a girl.
Right. That's the one thing. Like a lot of those, there's a lot of these like capper pages that have like a picture of. I don't even know if like who it is. Oh damn! Illinois just hit another 3 from like 50 feet out. How?
Let's see. The Michigan freshman, easy layup, 15-12. Yep.
They should be able to carve up inside of Illinois. So as long as they just keep driving to the basket, but they got to stop these like 50-foot threes from Illinois. I don't even know how you stop that, but
Carolina's up 13-4.
trying to find Portland State. I hate when there's like 50 cards in your betting app and I can't like find anything. I keep like scrolling up and down until I see it.
Do we take Miami plus 11.5?
Mm,
Versus Carolina?
no.
At 11.5, you don't take them.
North Carolina at home, I mean, especially against that Miami team, I don't see Miami winning that game at all or coming anywhere near. I think North Carolina should.
All it takes is Miami to get a little better from shooting for 3 than what they're shooting right now, and they'll cover the 11.5.
That's true.
Someone told Isaiah Simpson, Xavier Simpson,
hit it.
Nope.
No.
Oh, and you got a foul down low by the big boy. Okay, geez, the opposite way. He took Illinois money line. He said, forget you guys. That's pretty much what he said.
I mean,
it's not a bad look. They're the higher ranked team.
I mean, it's a team on fire right now. Like they're, but again, for me, it was more of a sell high, buy low type of thing in the market.
Carolina up 13. Cole Anthony liking it because they need to get some kind of wins to have any chance to get in the tournament, which is no chance. Vasilovic shoots a bad 3. Leaky Black throws to some other guy. Looks like he hasn't seen a basketball.
I want to get on Portland State, but I can't find the line. What time do they play?
Just do it by conference.
FanDuel blows. It doesn't make it easy for you to do it that way.
Don't tell me FanDuel blows. You get lines that are a point or 2 points on every single game. Every single game. So you can't give me the FanDuel blows. The only ones that suck is like my own book, which had the luck of the thing when the Clippers line just decided to lock up live and like, all right, the score is 32-42. It's at halftime. Still could have came back and kicked me in the ass, but it didn't. So, and then I got a luck 3 at the end. They're like, okay, well, I didn't middle. I half middled. The one side pushed and the other side was a guaranteed winner.
There you go.
Yep. Oh, there you go, Miami. Who the world is that? Oh, what a brick. Leaky Black. That guy was the worst 4-star rated player I've ever seen.
Leaky Black?
Yeah. Yeah, his name is Leaky. That should be the giveaway first.
Yeah.
All right, I don't care. I'm taking Carolina plus the 13.
You mean Miami plus the
Miami
13?
Plus the 13, yeah.
I was like, give me Carolina plus 13 all day.
Auburn's up to 13.5. VCU is curb stomping LaSalle. Pre-game line was 10. We're up to 15.5.
I was looking at that Coastal Carolina game. I like Coastal Carolina.
I bet on Coastal every time and lose. I
Do you
can't bet
really?
Coastal. Yeah, I've lost almost every game with Coastal. I'm done with Coastal year. They're a complete shade off. My daughter's graduated. I don't have to worry about Coastal anymore. I'll take that. I'm fine. We'll move on. So I know they've got one player. When he plays, they do well. When he does it, they don't. So that's pretty much the way I can sum up Coastal Carolina. You looked at the team that scores points, then they go out and they score like 40 points.
Yeah, they've been up and down.
Yeah, D, betting from the heart, but 11.5 points with this North Carolina team is I haven't seen them blow out anybody. I haven't seen them hit consistent shots to blow out anybody. They're not scoring down low. Their offense still looks erratic. Yeah, they just hit a shot there, but it's a fadeaway shot going through. So I'm perfectly fine with living off my 13 points. And I think even a backdoor cover here by Miami is a possibility. But right now, Miami's shooting terrible. So I might have been just a little early pulling that trigger. Might have been able to wait a couple more and get a better points. But yeah. But right now, Carolina's hitting the glass, which is killing Miami. So that's the only thing I like. They're down 14. Harlan Beverly drives. Oh, that's an easy charge. You almost had a charge by 4 guys. That's terrible when that happens. When you collapse 4 guys and you can't get the the worst part is one day Larinaga is going to retire here. Delaware's up by 4. We got 12 minutes to go. Auburn's up by 11.
There you go, D-Money, that Delaware play. I tailed you. Well, I tailed Delaware plus 7.5 or whatever I'd gotten it.
We got Pittsburgh, Syracuse at 7-12, 8.5 minutes in. We make fun of that, and we're worried about that, but this game has 28 points, 12 minutes in.
Oh, come on.
I will say the ball movement by Carolina looks really nice because there's really no true scorer, so it takes like 7 passes to get a shot. But they're up 24-7, so like I said, I probably pulled the trigger too early, but we'll see. Hopefully they'll come back in garbage time, and I won't be hurt too bad.
Can you believe it? North Carolina was not going to be in the tournament this year.
Well, they could go on a run. That's
They
not
could.
yet.
Sure.
If they can get to 20 wins, then they've got a shot. You're going to get Cole Anthony back pretty shortly here. Yep. So that's their one hope. But the problem is there's no secondary scorer. There's no really Justin Pierce has come in and at least given them another guy who could score. But yeah. But other than that, it's not really much. Next year's class looks really nice, though. They've got a nice 7'2" guy coming in. He should basically be able to own the interior down low. They've got a couple guys. Their whole class is going to be a lot better now that they know where the sanctions are going and stuff like that. Pittsburgh, Syracuse creeping up.
Is it?
We're back to 126.
Of course. Like you said, it's probably going to be a 97-point second half.
I mean, it's not too bad. We're getting about 27 points in the first 10 minutes. Most likely, maybe just 25. So if you're on that pace, you're only on the pace for 200 points. So not 100% sure where they think the points are coming in. Pittsburgh looks kind of completely lost. Wide open 3. Brick.
Michigan's been breaking it, too. It's been bouncing off the hoop. Jeez, Illinois is just...
Oh, Syracuse layup. Oh, Buddy Bayham twisted his ankle. He's got a little limp here as
Did
he
he?
goes to the
Oh.
bench, holding the shoe. He's fine. It just has a little hip in his giddy up. It's 20-7, Pittsburgh. Syracuse. Probably should have been on Syracuse. We're not sure Pittsburgh could score. What's the ESPN game? Is it Missouri,
Syracuse,
West Virginia? Really? That's the main
Yeah,
game that you put on?
that's a trash game. Nobody wants to watch that. UMBC is an 8-point favorite over Maine, huh? Is Maine really that bad?
The Retrievers.
Retrievers.
The Retrievers. They're 8-12. Maine 6-14. Yeah, that's kind of sad. You have Army, Navy. Basketball just doesn't mean as much
What?
when they play.
Oh yeah.
It's like, all right, we play that sport too. Delaware's losing by 1.
Let me see.
Come on, we can't lose both 12 o'clock games that I'm on.
I'm a tailgater.
Let's tailgate.
Yeah. I love these commercials with this guy. It's like
All right. Dolezaj still at Syracuse? All right, one guy's got pattern balding worse than I do. At 22, 23, that's not a good look. Should shave your head.
there's some guys balding on a team.
Yeah, you can see right on Pittsburgh. The point
Oh
guard.
yeah, that was a team. I think they have a bunch of guys like that look like they're balding and they're old, and they all look like they're like 40 plus. I remember it had to be like we were watching it in the Discord, and it might have been KG. Somebody we were watching the same game, and we had made the same comment about that. But it was like a team, and like 4 out of the 5 players all looked like they were over like 40 years old and balding.
Pittsburgh tries to run, gets the ball back, dribbles it off his foot, saves it. Bald man passes it to another guy, shoots a stupid 3. They bricked that so bad. Syracuse on the run. 2 minutes in, we've had 2 extra points scored. Another Syracuse brick. Back out for another 3. Bricks it.
Brick.
Offensive rebound. Fouled.
Nothing more frustrating than like when they rebound it 3 times and they keep kicking it out for a 3 and they can't make it. It's like, why do you keep doing that?
All right, time to go to the game that matters. We've got North Carolina up by 17, up by 19. Miami, for whatever reason, is trying to run down 19 points. There you go, Vasilis hits a 3. Cuts it to 16. We're coming back. FSU was up big. They came back.
Are they?
No, they were. Like last week.
Oh.
All right. Miami goes to the worst 2-3 zone I've ever seen. Giant holes in the middle. Both these teams, Vasilicic just shoots an odd shot because he thought it was fouled. Does a scissor kick with his legs. And then we get a moving screen. Miami game's up to 140.5 live. 16.5 is the line. Pittsburgh's down to 124. Michigan is now getting points at plus 3.5.
Yeah, they haven't been able to like make a basket in about 8 minutes. Hit that. Just airballed a 3. He had a wide open shot and he airballs the 3.
Auburn's at 11.5. There's no line there. Miami airballed another shot.
Yep. West Virginia just freaking rolling, huh?
Yeah, they're up 18.5 is the live line now.
Iowa State within 8 of Auburn. I'm going to start calling Auburn fraud burn. That's what they are, frauds.
I told you that. I said I can't take Auburn, and it was like, let's take them. Well, they're up 8 though. They're going to win this.
Wait,
game.
did we say take Auburn 8? I thought we said take Iowa State.
We said take Iowa State. It wasn't an official play. It was just a yeah. But it was like I can't trust that team. I was like, this is their first time back at home. Back at home is a totally different story. It's interesting that they're only Illinois, the ranked team, is up 8, and they're giving you a plus money to take their minus right now. Interesting. Now they're giving you a lower line, and it's even. Michigan must have had to hit a basket. Carolina is hitting threes today. They're up 21. Yeah, we can burn that money.
Just set your ticket on fire now. Next. Damn, yeah.
One thing I hate with live line, I get a live line for like 2 seconds. Choop, choop. The only thing I worry about the Syracuse game is you get a second half where they just pull out and they're just like, all right, we're just going to let you guys shoot. We don't really care.
Shit. Come on, man.
There's been 31 points and they're still holding to this 124.
Damn, the Oklahoma line is like jumping.
In our favor or against us?
It's -2 now. We got to pick them, so in our favor. Or was it Texas we got to pick them?
No, we got Oklahoma to pick them.
Yeah. On point saying, my book's giving me Michigan plus 3.5. I mean, if you didn't place a bet on them, I mean, it's not a bad bet. But if you already did, I wouldn't place like a second bet on them at plus 3.5 if you already took -4. Just because Illinois just seems to be on fire right now. So better not putting double your money in the same game.
Yep. Kind of like Carolina right now. They're just hitting 3 after 3 after 3. Good ball movement, terrible Miami defense equals into the 3. Boy, we're definitely should have been on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Just over 6 minutes, and we're at 34 points in the Syracuse-Pittsburgh game. Boy, did he walk? And they called it.
I wanted to take the over in the Clemson game, Clemson-Louisville, but it's blacked out for me. Let's go over here. See what I can do.
Look at Buddy Boeheim. Man, can he shoot.
I felt bad for his dad when he killed that guy.
He killed that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean in the car accident?
Yeah, when he hit him with the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like.
It's like, yeah, Boeheim just drilled another 3.
Here goes Michigan crawling back, baby. Crawl.
Yeah, Illinois down to -125 money line if you want them. Oh, Pittsburgh gets a foul. It's
Let's go
28 to 9.
Wolverines. Oh, fucking. These guys make these freaking shots. Okay.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Pittsburgh, you got to cover Buddy. Buddy's having too big of a game.
Soundtrack.
All right, Pittsburgh gets 8 point. It's about normally all they get every 3 minutes.
D-Money asking, how's Delaware?
Delaware is down by 3.
I have them tied 21-21.
I have it 26-23.
ESPN blows. Let's go. Second bet placed. All right.
Wide open 3. Oh, God, does that look ugly. You don't let Syracuse run. Make them do an offense. No, not offensive rebounds. All right, we're at 5 minutes in this game. We have 40 points scored. Pittsburgh has 10. 10 points in 15 minutes. They're averaging less than a point a minute. Will Pittsburgh get to 15? That is the biggest question in this
The under is looking good, right? Then.
Yeah, we're at 124. I mean, realistically, the way this game's going, you think at best they're going to get 55 points.
Right.
And then maybe it's really going to be dependent. At the way this going is, can Syracuse get to 120 before Pittsburgh gets to 20? I mean, we're on pace. I mean, even 55 points, saying that's going to be the half looks to be really bad.
Wow, Missouri closed out on West Virginia.
Did they? Oh,
Yeah.
they had 7-5. Yep. Should have took the Missouri plus 20.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking now too.
All right, Pittsburgh. Old guy throws it down. They have no clue. I mean, all they do is just flip it around the top of the perimeter. They don't even throw it down low. It's like to the right, to the left. Oh, finally, they got it inside, and he hit a basket.
I like how they brought the NBA on NBC theme song to like college basketball now. Remember back in the 90s? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah, Illinois is scoring like 80% from beyond the arc. It's great.
Oh, Pittsburgh has a chance to get to 14, maybe 15. They do. They get to 15. There you go. Not that we want, but yeah, Pittsburgh got to 15. That was unquestionable.
So now one of two things happen here in the second half of that game. Either Pittsburgh ups their defense, and this is why the under hits is because they try to close the gap between them and Syracuse, or just the same thing happens and Syracuse just keeps rolling and rolling.
Well, Pittsburgh has to stop Syracuse from getting transitions. Like, Syracuse really can't score either, except when they're in transition. They're not getting great looks. This guy just stepped out of bounds and no one called it. Syracuse in transition again. Buddy Boeheim. Charge. Miami's cut it down to 16.5. Woo-woo. Actually, they were down 20, but for whatever reason, the line's 16.5. Uh-oh. Northeastern went on a run, 36-25.
Oh boy.
3 minutes and 37 seconds left. D, you might have given us another loser. Bayern Munich scored. We haven't even been watching that, but they scored. Who else scored? Who's that other goal? Chelsea scored. So hopefully Sean Shockey drinks is not alive. D's rolling laughing as always.
San Diego and 94 in the Navy. Oh yeah, San Diego's a big military city, right?
Yeah, they've got a huge port there. Yep. A lot of people get shipped out of that before if they're going off on the West Coast or the Pacific. Auburn's up 13. Illinois is only up 5. Carolina's up 22. You got 73 points scored in the first half. Man, that's going to kill me. To lose to an 8-10 Carolina team. By that, that's just terrible. Auburn, we can't get a decent line because they are winning.
The last time I was in San Diego, I think I got kicked out of the Tilted Kilt. Was it the Tilted Kilt? Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep.
That's the thing, a lot of other cities, so the reason why they kicked me out was because me and my friend, we got really loud. We were at the bar. We had a lot to drink, but we were just joking around. We got really loud, a little rowdy. And then I remember I went up to go order a drink, and the bartender's I'm not giving you one anymore. I'm like, what do you mean not giving me one anymore? And she's like, yeah, she's like, you've had too much. And I'm like, what's too much? And my friend sitting next to me is he's my coworker. He's from London at the time. And I guess in London, they drink beers that are double the size of ours. And he was like, yeah, he's like, what do you mean too much? He's like, we haven't had, he's like, your beers are half the size of what I have back in my home country. And yeah, the bartender just kept saying I'm not going to serve you guys anymore. And so long story short, she was like, yeah, you guys got to close out and you got to leave. But then I realized I feel in other cities it's like that. If you walk in drunk somewhere, they won't serve you. But in New York, you can literally walk in with one eyeball closed and falling over and your shirt half off, and you can still ask for a drink, and the bartender will give you one. Would not even thinking twice about it.
West Virginia, Missouri Live is 117. They have 36 points scored with 3 minutes left. Oh, Pittsburgh hit a 3. They might get to 20. Not that we want
Michigan in the paint. Yeah. Take them in the paint. That's how you beat Illinois. Oh, yeah, Rob. I think it's Pacific Beach, right? Isn't that in San Diego? There's a bunch of bars up there.
All right, we got Miami at halftime.
There we go. Let's go, Michigan. Bringing it back. Play some defense.
Still down 5?
Nah, down 3 now.
Syracuse has been stuck at 30 for 5 minutes.
Not a surprise. Fuck. Come on, Simpson. You can't be making fouls like that. We need you for the whole game.
Does Louisville dump truck Clemson?
I took the over in that game.
Is Clemson any good?
Yeah, they actually beat Duke in North Carolina.
Well,
Back to back.
The
I know,
Duke
but
win
like,
was, that was the shocking one. But yeah,
and then North Carolina. I mean, like they had that 2-game win streak, and then who did they play last on Thursday? On Wednesday they played somebody. I don't know if they lost or they won that. I think they lost. Let me see, because I think I had that game. I'd bet against them. Oh, they were at Clemson basketball. Oh, they were at Wake Forest on the 21st, and they won. Oh, but they lost to the Wolfpack. Oh, that's what it was, right? They went to NC State, and I remember I'd bet on NC State that game. That was on the 18th. Rob got arrested in Tijuana. I was breaking up a fight, and they grabbed me thinking I was in the fight. That usually happens.
you had to go get $100 from the ATM. I would never. I mean, I'd be worried that they're going to ask for more as soon as I punch it in the ATM.
I remember I was in Mexico. I was leaving like some club with some girl, and she had to pee, so she like popped a squat behind the car, and I was supposed to be on lookout, but like I don't know where the cop came from, but he just like snuck up somewhere, and he saw her, and then like I had to pay him. I think I gave him like $60. That's all I had in my pocket. I gave him $60. I was like, leave her alone, and he just like walked off. Yeah.
Publicly saying that you're bribing an official.
You can't do that here. I wish I could be like, yeah, here. All I got is $40 in my wallet, and let me go.
All right, Pittsburgh gets to 20. They cut the lead to 10, which is actually, I think, what we wanted. We wanted it a closer game than a blowout.
Let's go.
They cut it to 9. There's 51 points. The live line is 124. Syracuse gets a bucket. They actually get off 30. They've been stuck at 30 since the 5:30 mark. Pittsburgh playing for the last shot. We'll see if this gets to 53 or 55. Wide open 3. But they're calling. I don't know what they're calling. I don't know. It's something on Pittsburgh, so the shot didn't even count. 5.3 seconds, Syracuse ball. Auburn is minus 2,000 to win.
Dun, 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 dun. Rob got caught.
Yeah, Delaware first half loses. They're down. They lose by 13.
Threw a Coke in the oven, called that baking soda. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Have you even looked at the Montana or Temple game? Someone wants to know.
No, I haven't looked at the Montana. I haven't looked at the Montana game, but I like Temple actually, Rob. I was looking at that line. I think it's 1 at Penn. I think Temple. They've actually. I think. I don't know if it was last week did they lose again, but they've kind of had bad luck. But I think that changes today when they go to Penn. So if it's Temple -1, I would take that.
All right, I think we get to halftime, then we wrap it up. I've got some things I got to get done. Yep.
I gotta eat some lunch.
Yeah, it's amazing that it pops on, and we're close to 1 o'clock already. And my son hasn't even moved yet. So, and he'll come on and like, I can't do chores. I have to work in 6 hours. What?
All right.
All right, let's get to halftime. We'll see when the Illinois game, Syracuse game is at half. We had 53 points, so we look pretty good on that. Just to go over real quick the plays that we have there, we're at Florida -2 at 8 o'clock. Oklahoma Pick'em, I think that's up to 1.5 now. Notre Dame +9, 8 p.m. We lean Texas +1.5. That's now not Texas -1.5. I just looked at it. Michigan -4 was a lean. Rutgers -13. St. John's +5. Dayton -6. USC +3. Official plays, Twatty gave us Pittsburgh under 131.5. So far, that looks good. Baylor under 131.5. Zags over 142 is my official play. Zags -20.5. I lean Zags -12 and Zags first half over 66.5. We hit Borussia Mönchengladbach, win the rest of regulation. That was the only live play that we gave. We're looking at 1-0 in the 2 games that we have going on right now. Marseille's about to screw us again in a 0-0 game, maybe. Still 30 minutes left. We're not done with that. But other than that, any other things you have that we missed?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. Another edition. We'll see you guys next week. All right. See you, everyone.
Bye.